Welcome everybody. It's 6:34 p.m. here on the East Coast. 6 is the Lovers, 34 is the Eight of Wands, the energetic exchange, that back and forth energy, the arrows of love. And today's the 31st of January. The 31 is the Five of Wands, which can be conflict and games and competition and fighting, but it can also be having fun playing games, having fun pursuing happiness and the impossible dream. And acting comes up with that a lot too. So there's always two sides of the story. The day adds up to 38 today, which is 3811, which is the Queen of Cups. She's very visionary, very intuitive, very kind and loving, works from her heart. So we have the Queen of Cups and the Five of Wands today, perhaps in group efforts or some kind of conflicts that she's dealing with, or pursuit of happiness that she's dealing with, or anything like that, acting and having fun, playing games, playing sports, whatever it is that floats your boat. We got the Queen of Cups and the Five of Wands today. So, Metatron, we have Metatron, and then I have the Twin Flame read in front of you. I did do a message of the day last night as well, so if we have time, I'll definitely bring that to you as well. We're going to pull Oracle cards too. This is the Metatron read here. Okay, the ones at the three at the bottom are just some extra cards that were coming up, like a kind of a PS message. And let's see what the dice have for us here. For the Twin Flames, last day of January 2022. All right, with number 10, that high vibration trill of the 1010. It's also, for me, it's the Destiny card, the Wheel of Fortune. And also for me, that's Libra energy. In October. We also have Venus here, which is Libra and Taurus, and then we have Aquarius here. Okay. So there's a lot of air energy there with two Libras and an Aquarius, and also Taurus thrown in there a little bit too, which is the North Node, which is where we're following right now. So let's see where that goes. A lot of air, but being grounded at the same time and directed by the North Node. All right, for Metatron, I did this read at 10:10 this morning. The 10 again is the Wheel of Fortune. Destiny, destiny, or that high vibration trill of keeping your vibration up. The bottom of the deck was the Signs card, which is number 50, which is a picture of a bird in the trees. Has to do with the signs and like messages from spirit to you to help keep you happy and emotionally fulfilled. And then we also had your authentic self and that wake-up call with the 11, which is the alignment, and the 46 of the inner children, was all in the underlying energy today. The first card out was the chakra card, which is 38, the Queen of Cups. And we kind of finished up almost with the King of Cups. So the King and Queen of Cups were definitely significant today. And King of Cups also is unconditional love. And let's see what colors came up. Not a whole lot. We have pink. That was it. So pink is the color of today, which is all about compassion. And I don't think there were any elements that came up either, right? Nope. No elements or colors except for pink. That's very unusual. So it's all about the pink and compassion today. And it was a beautiful sunny day outside. I actually went for a jog today, even though there's still a lot of snow out there, but it was fine on the streets. And it wasn't bad temperature-wise either. And I went outside to try to ground this morning because I haven't been outside much in the past couple of days because of the snow. And I went out in the snow with my feet, and oh my gosh, I couldn't stay out there for more than 10 seconds. My feet were freezing. But that was a wake up. It definitely stimulates your body, right? Your feet have all of those acupuncture points that connect to the rest of your body. So going into this read is all about your authentic self. And remember, we talked about that yesterday, where this card says, who are you today? But yesterday we're coming back to you are me. And literally the letters, or the acronym, URME, you are me. Or you are Ma, because URME also equals URMA with the short symbol, the short A, or the short vowel symbol. above the A, which is also like the crown, and that is the Ma energy. And remember that it also means flowering ash or bright light. The Mana, which is that gift out of nowhere, you know, from God. And the E of the energy here with URME. And then what was coming up here? So also the letter E is, for me, it comes up a lot as energy, but it's also, you know, Eve and Elohim. There's a lot of E words that are significant. But when you break down the E, it's the one and then the 3 lines across, which is equal and congruent to, which literally means God bless, right? So it's God's blessing here. Again, the crown on top, which is part of that Om symbol as well. So the birthing inner children here in a wake-up call to align with the 2 ones or the 11 with 1 listen, note, and tone, and come home to Om. And remember, there's a 4th spot there for space or silence. Om. And breathe. The energy of the capital A, which is that TP, very well grounded, but also it looks like a rocket ship taking off. And also the energy of the M, of the mountains and the rivers, that, you know, are that perfect complement to each other with the space between the U, which is the space between 2 sets in math, but also the Holy Grail to hold space. It's also the Holy Grail to hold the holy communication and fill the blank afterward, the Om, with signs from Spirit with love for emotional fulfillment and family happiness. The human, angel, bird, all family, and justice for children here. The first card out, like I said, was that Queen of Cups energy of the chakra system and activating the chakra system. So the Queen of Cups with the awakened light body powering up with the Knight of Swords, messenger of truth, which is also the Knight in shining armor, or the Knights in white satin, hooked in at the root, along with the top downs, remember the newbie kids who think differently than we do, and ending already reached, right, because Knights in white satin never nearing the end, but the end is already reached, and now filling in the space between. So again, this is that tree where we're connected at the root, and we're also connecting well at the top where all the new little kids are, because they get together really easily. But it's the ones in the middle that still need to come together. So it's again the coming together of the middle. So filling in that space between. The key to freedom rings, or in other words, circles and 3s, because the circle is all about the 3. And the leap of faith of 1 for all, and realize 1 for all is 14 all, and the symbol for and is the E with the current of magnetism running through it, right? The E is the electric current. The line through the and is the magnetic current. And then we have, so that's the 1 for all, and then all for 1. So if you flip the all around to match the reflection of the 41 to the 14, then the all becomes LLA, which means to cry or weep. So 1 for all and all for 1 literally comes out as the 1 for all, which is ALL. Remember, capital A is the teepee and the rocket ship. Or in other words, the shaman and the Schumann, right? So the Schumann resonance references our galactic family, but also the shoe man, which is Mr. Ed, right? He's the horseshoe guy. So the shaman of the earth, of the human, and the shaman of our galactic family, the TPs and the rockets align with the electromagnetic, or the and symbol, coil and current, along with the mountain and the river of the M, and then the LLA, which means to cry or weep, for 1. Sorry, there's I think there's a little critter somewhere. When it snows, you know, they always try to find a hole to get into the house. So it might be a little critter somewhere. I hear somebody scratching. All right, so let's see here. One for all and all for one is the shaman and the Schumann aligning with electromagnetic coil and current, or the mountain and the river, crying or weeping for one. All or two, right? To weep is also two weeping for one. One for the shaman, Schumann, mountain, river alignment. To weep for one, or unification. One for the shaman, which is the witch doctor, and the Schumann, which is Mr. Ed, the mountain coil and the river current that runs through it. To weep for one, which is the purging that we've all been going through. At 1039, which is the high vibration of the destiny and the wheel of fortune, and the 39 of the Knight of Cups, or being love. Purging for unification is the one for all and all for one. Growing together, top down. Conquering fears today, one step at a time, for dreams to come true. There are endings every day in the sunset reflecting you, holding you. You are Ma. The mountains and rivers complementing each other in human connection. The teepees and the rockets, the shaman and the Schumann. The inner child. What weighs on you, inner child, today? What do you hold in your grail that you need to pour out? And again, that can reference the womb. The rainbow bridge, or white arc, which is the same thing, be inspired by Metatron, always open to jump, leapfrog, point to point. Remember, it's never a straight shot unless you do the time warp again. It's just a jump to the left and a step to the right. Or in other words, it's just a jump to the left at just the right angle to step into a new perspective, or our quantum energy of that push and pull, or but just missing the two as one. So again, just a jump to the left and a step to the right. For those of you who've never seen Rocky Horror Picture Show, the time warp. With a hand on your hips, bring your knees in tight. But it's the pelvic thrust that really drive you insane. Let's do the time warp again. So the way it was coming up is the leap at the right perspective, falling to your knees into child's pose, and thrust your holy grail upward, flinging your arms up in the air in bliss. So what it reminded me of is, you know, if like an actor on stage that does some kind of big thing and then they fling themselves across the floor and they end up on their knees sliding forward to the front of the stage. And then in child's pose, from there, opening up, you know, like it's the closing of the child's pose, and then the opening up of pushing your pelvic outwards and your arms up in the air like an excited child. But, you know, the actor's back would then be way arched back on his knees. It's that image that was coming up. So leap at just the right perspective, falling to your knees in child's pose, and thrust your holy grail upward, flinging your arms up in the air in bliss or joy. And then practicing over and over again. Let's do the time warp again. The dancer sliding to their knees across the stage in prayer, and then opening up to the heavens in illumination, right? With their arms at that 144-degree angle and 36 degrees in between on either side. And that was coming up as the 36-year period, which comes up in Cryon a lot, from 1987 of the harmonic convergence plus 36, then adds up to 2023. So why 2023 was coming up here is because the 23 is the King of Wands, and we only recognize 23 pairs of chromosomes when there's actually 24. That's etheric. They just can't see it. So the 22 pairs of numbered chromosomes, or the autosomes, and one pair of the sex chromosomes, which is the X and Y, but the 24th gets activated, or in other words, the etheric set. And this was coming up as after 23, that set is now seen, perhaps. So then the picture of the chromosome, which looks like an X, but of course there's no straight lines. They're wavy lines of the X, the chromosomes crossing each other, with the telomeres and the P arm and the Q arm, which is the upper and lower halves, and then the centromere, which is the center point where they cross, which also references the two crazy eights in an X, like I talk about all the time. It's not actually an X, but it's an 8 that's really skinny, crossing another 8 that's really skinny in the crazy 8 dance of the twins, right? The two 8s standing side by side and then coming together in a dance as the X, but they're actually the two 8s dancing together, which is the chromosome pairs. And each chromosome kind of looks like a microphone. And it does get smaller towards the center. So the father, of course, with chromosomes, the father and the mother and the DNA, they each contribute one of each set that they have. And of course, the mother has two X's, because that's the feminine. So the father always chooses which sex it is, because they have an X and a Y. The chromosome houses the DNA in the nucleus of the cell. So in 1987, at the harmonic convergence, by the way, adds up to 25, which is that Knight of Wands of inspirational movement, as I was just very much talking about inspirational movement on stage, plus the 36 years, which is 2023, at the end of the 23 pairs, going to the 24, now known and activated. So remember, too, the 144 degrees is like a little kid with their arms up in the air. The 144 degrees is from your legs to your arms, and then the 36 on either side of your head. So 72 between arm to arm. Remember that 144 plus 36 equals the 180, right, or half a circle. And the 144 is also the 72 by 2 in the Bible of the 72 pairs, and the energy of 36, which is Atlas, the weight of the world on their shoulders, which equals Source backing them up with 180, because Source backing up the 80 or the 18. And remember, I told you this week that the 144 reduces to 18 because 44 is the 3D lap dance, but 8 is the 5D dance, the do-si-do between the twins. So the 44-8 elevates to the 8 as they move between their masculine and feminine and then with each other. So the zeros, source energy backing up the 18. The 18, which is also coming up now, is the purple moon, the 0 point. The 144, 3D. The 36 is the weight of the world on your shoulders of the 4D. And then the 5D is the 180 degrees of the 72 by 2 plus the 18 by 2 for the twins. And then the 90 by 2, which is the 9 is the right angle, the 90-degree angle times 2. And then they were giving me the T and the C because that's the right angle. And remember, the right angle is not the square, it's the circle, because the right angle has to do with the cross through the circle in the middle, whereas the square talks about the 4, not the 3. I mean, it is still 90-degree angle. I'm not saying it's not, but not in reference to the masculine and the feminine and the circle and the square. So remember that the two lines crossing are the crazy eights dancing, that's the X, is a chromosome pairing, the dance of the crazy eights. We're all backed up by source energy in unifying two, and then what God brings together, let no man put asunder, was coming up. So then they were showing me all of the different pairings of the T, all right, so the T and the C, the squared C, because it was coming up like this, the two right angles are either like a graph, back to back, you know, like a graph, the Y and L axes, and then we have the C energy of the, looks like a a staple rather, or a C when it's upright like this. So they had me do all the different combinations of T, 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 and then C, 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 like the Rolling Stone. And this here is the chart with all of the different combinations, and you see how many normal symbols come up here. The 3, the 4, the 6, the 9. He comes up, E, P, H, 7, J, 1, a bed, a chair, right? So there's all these symbols that were coming up there. And again, there's tons of combinations talking about, DNA and chromosomes and human, no two of us are exactly the same. And remember, too, with the Rolling Stone, when you put all of the E's and 3's and M's together, it becomes the gift, right? The box with the T in the middle. And then this does the same thing. When you put the rolling T and the rolling C together, they also become the gift. But then there was this energy of the circle and the square, and which direction the plus sign is. Is it actually the plus sign, or is it on an angle like an X? Right? Because plus is adding something together, but the X makes it exponential. And then I was getting the picture of the screw, you know, screwing something, a round screw into a square peg type of energy. Or are you screwing a square bolt into a round, like a, what's it called? Now I'm blanking out. You know, the piece of metal sometimes they'll put underneath the screw for spacing and for buffering. I'm just blanking out for some reason. So anyway, that energy of turning the key, right? So the screwdriver turning the X or the plus sign into the X sign, that eighth turn, like in the Crazy Eights dance that I always talk about. It's the shift of the position, the key turning. All the ways the electromagnetic M and the T and the C, I was just getting typecasting too, because that has to do with blood typing. And then the masculine and the feminine, the square and the circle, how they all fit together. When the O is on the inside, I was getting it promotes diamond light. Washers and lug nuts were coming up versus lug nuts. But again, to remember that everything is in curves. There are no actual straight lines. And the amount of combinations here comes out to 32, which is the journey. And there's the pictures of the chromosomes up here that I was talking about, and there's the dancing chromosomes or the crazy eights, but it also comes up as the flower of life, right? Because there's always another petal facing you and then one behind. So that's why there's 6 petals. There's actually 8. Well, we'll get into that at another time. But anyway, it gets very complicated because then it gets into all the math details that we don't really need to deal with right now. But then I go on to the next page and I come back to the read. And again, they were bringing me back to the flower of life. And when you draw those circles that make the flower of life, it's not that there's 6 petals in each circle. There's actually 4 in each circle. But the crossing over of the circles is what creates the 6 petals in the flower of life. So at 1202, which is the Hanging Man and the High Priestess, or the Divine Feminine, then we come into the card of the life bulb, which has to do with the womb, as opposed to the light bulb, which is the third eye. The life bulb, the birthing out of endings, or the rebirthing, inspired pink little girl of compassion, of self-love and nurture, to turn on the light bulb, or the pineal gland, or the third eye, and the wounded warrior with the kundalini rising forced out of the body what no longer serves. I was getting the energy of blasting out, just like revving the engine, blasting that last little bit off that no longer serves, forcing awakenings into the womb of the family tree, releasing untapped energy. A new dawn, welcome back, high vibe energies, and the sun is out. And then I was getting that symbol of the sun, which is a circle with the dot in the middle of it, but again, referencing all roads lead home as I'm losing my voice. Right? So this is like the Mercedes symbol of the Y in the road, but when there's infinite roads home, it becomes nothing. It becomes the sun of the circle with the dot in the middle. All roads home to the sun. So why don't all roads lead home? Because we're not unified. And I was also getting unification between U.S. and Canada. Like like Europe became a union. The next would be U.S. and Canada, because Canada was coming up today as well. All roads lead home to the sun. There are no sharp edges or turns. All flow into one. King of Cups, detach from drama and look up. Perhaps sit in the grass if you can at dawn, if possible, getting sun from the underground, because the sun hasn't come up over the horizon yet. It cradles you, collapsing into child's pose and then exploding into joy position. leading with the pelvic arch, the center of the body, just 2 inches below your belly button. And I was getting the energy of like a string, like pulling the string like they do in the, I forget what it's called, the massage where they can do body work without actually touching your body, and it contorts your body. So I was getting that same energy of the string attached to 2 inches below your belly button and someone pulling that string up as the pelvic thrusts out into that position of joy, like forcing you to wake up. The Emperor's fall to winter in letting go of control, the leaves and feathers of long ago. And then the maple leaf came up, and of course Canada, but also Marla Maples came up yesterday. And the bluebird or blue jays of happiness, and the stellar jays came up as well, and then the Toronto Blue Jays. So you see all this Canadian stuff coming up. And then Marla Maples, and is she Canadian too? Now I'm thinking she is. Well, anyway, she was coming up too. And so I looked up Marla Maples, and there was an article from October 25th, 21, where she was talking about feeling lonely, and that how wonderful it was to smile, because it's literally the light switch that makes you feel better again when you just smile at someone and really connect with them eye to eye. And that was from youinterviewer.com. From that was actually, I'm sorry, 12/16/21. And it was talking about her daughter Tiffany Trump planning their Greek wedding, right, with her. It was her 28th birthday at the time, which was October 13/21. So at 12:33, which is the Hanging Man, the 33, which are both Christ energies, the purple moon is about going into 0 point, meditating, time out needed, the 2 of the Divine Feminine, as the Divine Masculine wisely reviews the Akash, or in other words, AKA, shh, it's the library. The twin flames are untying the knots, or bows, of gifts in the electromagnetic grid. The 2 diamonds in the sky, the 2 binary diamonds in the sky, unifying or becoming 2 as 1, which is the 3. At 12:36, which is then the Hanging Man and the Atlas energy of the Hermit taking action where movement is needed to get that stuck energy out. And then back to the void and the Om with the AUM and then space. Fill in the blank and lead the way with flame in right hand. The circle is the right angle. The King of Wands needs balancing, the yin and the yang, connecting and paying it forward to their ancestors in energetic exchange, feeding into the Akash and the electromagnetic grid now. The Divine Masculine releasing family with gratitude on the record, showing healing and appreciation going forward, permanently documented at 12:39, which is the Hanging Man and the Knight of Cups. And then the extra cards that came up were the Dragon, Big Bird, and Thanksgiving, which is all about thanks and blessings. The Divine Masculine transforming from the dragon fire to the golden wings by eating right, with blessings and thanks, synchronicities and choices, and the abundant universe and heaven in their eyes. The underlying energy being that you are me energy as opposed to who are you. Call in your spirit guides and your birds. The first section is the Queen of Cups, activating rebirth of the King of Cups. The second section is the tops and bottoms, brainstorming in the womb on how to fill the gap of the generations or the space in between the very young and the very old who are already awakened. Releasing the untapped energy of the wounded warrior, unifying as Canada as a start. And then the third section, ask for help, with the Metatron bridge always open, and then day and night literally both came up. All roads lead home to the purple moon. And that was at 12:45, which happens to be the time I was born. Okay, so let's get into the read in front of you. Let me show you the picture of that. Okay, so this is the twin flame read in front of you on the table. This is the SIRIAN Starseed deck, for those of you not familiar. And then all 7 decks here on the table. Okay. I'll show you the, this is also the message of the day. Is it upside down? Yes, it's upside down. Hold on one sec. Okay, so this is the message of the day. Okay, and my 4-deck read. And now I'll get into both of those. All right. So, the twin flame read on the table right now was cut and dealt at 5:02 yesterday afternoon. The 5 is the Hierophant, the 2 is the High Priestess, or the Divine Feminine. And then at 5:17, 17 being the star, has to do with healing and dreaming, NE of Chalices came up, which can be Northeast. It can be any emotions or heart-based feelings. Whatever NE comes up as for you, of heart and emotions. And then Chalices came up again, which has to do with the big equipment under the Alps that the elite are experimenting with under the ground. So that was coming up again, the H-Alices or Chalices. I finished clarifying at 5:28, which is the Hierophant and the Twin Flames. And what did I bring up the other day? Oh, I kept getting Mary, Queen of Scots, and I didn't know why. So I looked, after my video, after I talked to you guys, I looked it up to see what was going on with that, why Mary, Queen of Scots was coming up. And there's a letter that came up, literally, and the last news about it was the end of this month. So it was, in the past couple days, about like her last communication before she was killed, and how it was going up for auction for, God knows how many millions of dollars. But that was coming up, and her feelings. So I finished clarifying here at 5:28, which is the Hierophant and the 28 of the Twins. The major arcana in the read were Alchemy, which is the Temperance card, the Great Wheel or the Wheel of Fortune, and the Strength card. Those were the main cards. Before the read was the Solar Deity or the Sun, and Transition, which is the Death card. And after the read was Indigo and the Lovers. There were 2 cups, 4 wands, 2 swords, and no pentacles in the main cards anyway. And there were 3 nines, the 9 of Wands, 9 of Swords, and 9 of Cups all came up. And the Queen of Pentacles was the only court card in the read. The Queen of Swords came up before the read. Actually, the Queen of Pentacles wasn't in the read, it was after the read. So we have 2 queens on either side of the read, Queen of Swords before, Queen of Pentacles after, and then 3 nines in the read, 9 of Wands, 9 of Swords, 9 of Cups. So a lot of ending energy, and there was yesterday in the Twin Flame spot as well. And there is today again, right? We have the 10 of Swords, the 9 of Swords, and the 9 of Wands right there. So there's definitely an ending going on. Let's see here. We have, as far as the numbers, we had triple nines, like I said. We had double 2s and double 4s as well, which is the Fool and the 4 of Cups. 6, 7, 8, 9 came up just in time. And, of course, the 9s have to do with completion, endings, compassion, universal selflessness, the collective consciousness, as well as the Hermit going within. And we also had 24 here of the Queen of Wands, the 46 of the Children in the Garden, the 6 of Cups, the 49 of the 9 of Cups, and that's all that came up for the numbers. And the code line was all about patience, manifestation, and self-discipline, with the number 8 coming from 6 and 2. Oh, that's interesting too. So the way my numerology is my soul number's 38, which is 11-2, and then my outer 6, and then my destiny's 8, so it's coming up as my pattern of numbers. But anyway, the 8 is from 6 and 2, and the way the code line reads is the Twin Flame Lovers with 9-inch nails perhaps, or a grandmother involved, or the contents, or the lovers are not even, and food's coming up here as well as the 9, which is the collective and the Hermit. The 2 in the High Vibe Destiny with Life Essence, the Stone Breaking Plant, and then NE also comes up as Nor'easter, and that came up the East Coast the other day. So that kind of energy was coming up. Time out to expand the Lovers, Hermit, or Twins to the Great Wheel of Life, the Life Essence, and the Vagina was coming up right there. Again, regarding patience, manifestation, and self-discipline. The Twin Flame Lovers, the Hermit, and High Priestess, destined again, to the divine feminine's vagina. So someone's definitely coming together because they're going to have sex. The twin flame offer of new life to the destiny or Libra's. It was coming up as Libra, sappy, fool, drunk, crazy person. Or there could be friends calling their guy friend a pussy, that kind of thing. But also the vagina is coming up, so. But to be patient, to be human. The mouth and the sting was also coming up here, as well as the snow, and perhaps someone calling someone four eyes. And again, the things that get you, that trigger you as a child, were coming up here. Alchemy was the first card out in the read, the bottom of the deck. Okay, so this card down here on top, and the mini cards on top of that, and I go 5 cards down normally, with the energy of the Sun upright, the Queen of Wands reversed, the 2 of Pentacles upright, the Transition or Death card upright, and then the 4 of Pentacles reversed, which for me is the Divine Masculine in the Bat Cave. That's the Divine Masculine's heart. So Sunshine upright, or exposure, that could be Leo, kids and pets as well, vacation, and the Queen of Swords reversed in negative self-talk, lying or lashing out, or silent, surrendering to it all in transition, with the Divine Masculine's heart opening up to a higher love or alchemy. The King of Pentacles upright in need of peace, or leaving after awakened by the Queen of Wands reversed, imprisoned, or with anxiety issues, letting go to fix, repair, or make amends, with patient angel off the beaten path, or Sagittarius looking back. The King of Swords is upright, the Page of Swords is upright here. That could be a father and child, or just a message. With the world upside down because their car is down, or they're in need of one and perhaps bugging their dad to get them one. Or Pisces reversed and Cancer reversed, or Divine Feminine in 5D, broken or broke down, or just stuck, or Pisces is. Magician or Gemini or Virgo upright, reaping rewards of a sudden event, epiphany, or sexual exchange, and leading the way in the awakening. A sudden explosion or eruption under the radar, unable to sleep or awake and coming out, sleeping with shoes on just in case of an emergency. And 1 second, I have to skip a couple pages here to get to where I was supposed to be. Okay. So some kind of unstable foundation at 626, which is the Lovers and the Page of Wands, perhaps rocked the house, fell off the horse or wagon, or the Knight of Wands reverse player in their dream space, or exhausted but can't sleep, or a sexual exchange and rising above. Grounding and integrating, the streetcar named Desire, working creatively with the Knight of Swords to get the message to the Empress, or on her behalf, or the Knight of Swords in a rush, or late for a very important date, trying to finish a project to get a message across about romantic feelings, and beneath that, children, which may be affecting your love life. The twin flames, or out for a meal, the Page of Swords leaning on the truth, with narcissistic Hierophant or Taurus trying to end the nightmare of the Knight of Swords cracking the whip, with her hair or body, or practicing with a mannequin, following video instructions, or a workout, with kids looking in, or likes to pull girls' hair, like in elementary school, or learning how to groom the dog, or walk the dog, or try to do 2 things at one time. Or watching Jeffrey Epstein on TV was coming up again here. The black cat between their legs, or a familiar, and apple-bottom cheeks from spanking, and narcissistic old man and Shutter Island. So again, stuff about the child abuse is coming up again here. Love partnership with 26, which is the Page of Wands, and leadership, which is 81, which for me is the end of karma around the world. And there could be depression here as well. Holding on with their cards close to their chest, the wounded warrior surrendering to abusive childhood, bad memories, or falling out in the past, or kids acting up and not expressing feelings in a heated exchange out in the cold for having messed up, or dropping the ball, or breaking patterns, dropping the act, or falling on your face from grace or embarrassment at 643, which is the Lovers and the coming together, or not. Those without, and perhaps took a double hit or a fall, or two messed up and ended up out on the streets, in tights perhaps, or tripped out the door or fell on the steps. Or that could be literally someone saying, don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out, and that kind of thing. The Fool is reversed with alchemy. The Patient can't sleep, or awakening to the Empress upright, with the Knight of Swords watching, inspired by love partnership, and in need of hope, healing, and dreams. With Leo and Scorpio upright, as well as Sag, Scorpio's double upright here, and Pisces and Cancer reversed, and Aries reversed, but Gemini or Virgo is upright, as well as Taurus here as well. Page of Swords upright, along with the Knight of Swords upright, may be out to eat with the Hierophant or without them, or left the Hierophant home alone and couldn't believe what they found them doing when they got home at 6:50, which is the Lovers and the Ten of Cups of the fulfillment of the family. So we have a Taurus with Aquarius in their chart, perhaps, love partner, with Aries reversed, perhaps. And then the underlying energy was an announcement of synchronicities of heaven in their eyes, and that could be issues with eyes coming up as well, yet depressed and in need of hope. I was just getting the Pope as well. The Page of Pentacles in need of help, or pissed off. I wrote missed, but pissed off is coming up. The Page of Pentacles in need of help, or missed an opportunity over a loss or regret, with a new passion being offered in a heated exchange with the Knight of Swords, a sister perhaps, or suffering in silence with the wounded warrior Hierophant fighting with the King of Wands reversed. So a fiery energy and a Taurus energy, or that can be them fighting with their someone at business or a religious leader as well. And at 6:56 is the Lovers and the Two of Swords, being in your knowing and keeping to yourself, with the Eight of Swords upright, hiding in the woods, needing to use their intuition, with the High Priestess reversed, or Pisces reversed, perhaps a secret passion, with the wounded warrior defensive or on guard, with the Page, I was getting on guard, as the the Queen of Pentacles reversed, maybe offering money for sex, from unfair Libra reversed, or twisted Judge, and that could be offering a bribe as well, or the injustice of a twist of fate. Sovereign upright, Hermit upright, or a Virgo sovereign, dumping emotional attachments or multiple loads, with the Two of Swords reversed, with clarity about dropping the ball, or breaking patterns, or breaking up the act, or tripped up, or imprisoned and offered a judge a bribe, or offered them sex. With Pisces reversed and Libra reversed ×2, and Virgo upright here, or Hermit and independent child return home to find two women together, or perhaps with the wounded warrior between them. That could be a threesome for somebody. Or the justice of juggling two women, or Virgo Libra finds out there are two other women, not just what they knew about. And again, that's not everybody's, just a few probably. At 7:05 is the Chariot and the Five of the Hierophant, and the foundation being the Six of Wands reversed, or feeling a failure, attention-seeking, under the radar, or fell off the horse, presenting the whole truth, starting a fight, or in pursuit of a separation, with the Page of Pentacles reversed, in need of help, or opportunistic, or miss their chance. And it can just be a child in need of help, or an invitation perhaps. And the central energy here is the Two of Cups. Perhaps soulmates or partners, or just two people seeing eye to eye and looking back at the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community reversed, whether that's dysfunction or loss, and the Queen of Cups reversed, moving or visiting the Emperor perhaps. And perhaps Sagittarius, recently under the radar, ended up in jail and partnered with the wounded warrior and challenged by the slowdown, or wasn't meant to be. Recent loss with family, or a big expense, or dysfunction, with the Queen of Cups reversed, unstable with the Emperor, or moving or visiting the past. The challenge being the twist of fate, or Libra reversed, unstable home or house, or the party is just over, post-war, and PTSD, perhaps looting going on as well, as the Knight of Pentacles is offering help to the Hermit, or the Hermit's giving them advice. Hanging out, that was confirmation. Hanging out, the Page of Cups reversed, or rejected post-war, and standing up to the crowd, or standing up for themselves, taking the high ground and needing an excuse. The Page of Cups reversed, unable to express, not wanting their advances or wanting their advances, or just they were just being nice, not sharing with those unbalanced with new information, and unwilling to share or disclose, or just being like a vault. Flirting and showing off, making a fool of self, deceiving, prisoning, or about prison, or making them anxious, being exposed or shy. I made Capricorn and Leo upright here, Aries and Cancer reversed, not wanting to expose an imbalance or a codependency and being hung out to dry, or stuck hanging out alone and feeling sorry for themselves. And now crowning is the Nine of Wands, the wounded warrior, Hierophant, or player falling short, or married or Taurus falling short on energy, or paralyzed by their passions, or Sagittarius reversed, the devil incarnate, or the Queen of Swords reversed, Scorpio, Capricorn, Taurus upright, but Sagittarius reversed, or Taurus with Sagittarius and Queen of Swords reversed Scorpio, and Capricorn leaving the Queen of Swords for making a fool of themselves, or making a fool of them at 729, which is the Chariot, and being present in the moment, or perhaps a gift, or psychic gifts. The Queen of Swords, I'm getting Mary Queen of Scots again, the Queen of Swords reversed may have a really bad temper or a sex addiction, with the wounded warrior with the Nine of Cups and the Knight of Cups offering love to help get over the loss and the regret. Juggling Knight of Cups with getting over of a big love from sovereign making announcement or a wake-up call. The Knight of Cups is happy with themselves, or perhaps there's some arrogance here, inspecting every inch of the hostage, Queen of Wands reversed, pushed out of bed, or forced into an awakening, like it or not. Or a prisoner, Queen of Wands reversed, pushing the divine masculine to open his heart, whether he likes it or not, or hung out to dry. Injustice of being handled, of being strong-armed or taming the boar, with Libra reversed and Leo upright, and jealous rage about sitting on the fence or having to tell them what to do, or controlling Leo, Scorpio, telling him what to do or else. Issues at work, not having enough or feeling not enough for lover or Gemini or twin, the King of Cups loving man receiving a message, or the Page of Swords child stepping it up or advertising for them perhaps, or the King of Cups Scorpio and the Page of Swords is a Gemini, tired of taking care of or being restricted by pets or kids, or Leo perhaps. And soon here is the Seven of Wands upright with Phoenix rising or rising above in a heated exchange, or stuck dumping multiple loads with Hermit or Virgo with Cancer with help or a date. Rising not expressing feelings of deception with Death and Dark Night, endings and transitions, to journey to a detox perhaps, or just that could be vacation as well, with the Ten of Cups upright, happy family, or a happy ending with the Knight of Pentacles and then or with the Knight of Pentacles here. Maybe there's two Knights of Pentacles here. That could be two earth signs who are slow movers. With Cancer, Cancer and Capricorn reversed, Scorpio and Virgo upright here, the twin flames seeing themselves as the Nine of Swords reversed, perhaps coming out of hiding underground, dumping a load, a burden, or responsibilities, with new information or being given a new option or ultimatum perhaps. The King of Wands is reversed, maybe tired or pissed off, but satisfied ending pain, or likes being a pain in the ass, or arrogant and mad about a betrayal, surgery, or painful ending, or a massage with sunshine, kids, vacation, or Leo, and the King of Swords upright. We have religious factors here, reconciliation, and flirt. At 7:48, the Chariot and the Eight of Cups walking away within, keeping their head down, taking a load off, with clarity or to gain clarity, perhaps distressed with options, or having others making decisions in order to relax. The King of Wands reversed, tired but happy with self, ending pain as long as kids are happy with the King of Swords, or the King of Wands reversed may be feeling dumped on when the King of Swords goes on vacation. Around the twins, or how they're seen, is the Strength card upright and a breakthrough or a birthing, with the World upside down and Pisces or Aries both reversed, excited to see the new one, or Leo and learning to train the pet. The divine feminine in the 5D, perhaps lacking faith in the lion tamer, of not knowing their own strength, or the imbalance of not sharing, or recovering two who just made it under the wire, or made it just in time, or an animal rescue here, or jumping through hoops in order to get in there or get there, or some kind of minor infection or irritation could be coming up here as well. The challenge being the Four of Wands reversed, the instability with third-party fallout or bad influences around children, according to the family, with patience, manifestation, and self-discipline, spying on lovers, or man who likes to peep on the Page of Wands reversed in the woods, learning to romance themselves, or perhaps, taking a hike in the woods by themselves. Self-satisfaction of the Magician and the Page of Wands reversed, or perhaps the Magician and their assistant, frustrated or uninspired. Grounding and integrating a party or service for 9, or worried about a cleanup duty and the kids not sharing their responsibilities, or hanging out and being bored at the dinner. With the King of Cups upright and the Page of Swords upright, and the Queen of Pentacles reversed, getting over the loss, with indigo proposal of lovers and third party through work, perhaps partnering up with twin flame as well, could be coming up. But I think I want to make sure I know what position. The Lovers card was upright in this read today. So if Gemini comes upright with the Lovers, it's upright. So at 9/11, alchemy, higher love, transition of the divine masculine under the radar, underground, making a breakthrough with anxiety issues or imprisonment issues about the Two of Cups upright. The challenge being the downturn or twist of fate, Phoenix rising in moving states, or the party's over with the Wounded Warrior, and the Nine of Cups, Queen of Pentacles reversed, perhaps enjoying dinner with friends, or getting over loss and regret. The Indigo Magician, nervous to propose, to lover needing to come together, to work or partner up. With Leo upright, Gemini or Virgo upright, Capricorn upright, and Scorpio perhaps here, or Indigo Gemini with issues at work, seeing eye to eye, or maintaining focus. We have Pisces reversed and Scorpio upright here, or the Wounded Warrior and the Queen of Pentacles reversed. She may perhaps be worried about the child, but with a call, they're okay. And perhaps nice conversation with the King of Cups, Scorpio or Gemini here. And Sagittarius upright, Leo upright, perhaps Aries and Libra are reversed here, but Capricorn or Virgo, Queen of Pentacles reversed, unless the Queen of Pentacles reversed is the Wounded Warrior, and then that one is probably Taurus. The Divine Masculine coming out, opening up for higher love, nervous about embarrassing themselves or being a failure, under the radar with the Two of Cups. With the Wounded Warrior challenged by a twist of fate, the sister or suffering in silence, and resting above or rising above, strong in a breaking through of the Ring of Fire, moving, visiting, or unstable home, but happy with self, with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, getting over a loss. With Indigo upright, Lover or Gemini with working issues, or in finishing the job, perhaps delayed, to negotiate a second, perhaps, at 9/25, which is the Hermit and the Knight of Wands. And that was interesting, too, because I'm still having work done, and they called out today because they strained themselves shoveling the snow. So let's just pull a few cards, see what comes up to wrap this up from the Animal Spirit deck. It's 7:28 on the clock. It's my Leo brother's birthday. All right, we have the Beaver, hardworking Beaver who gives a damn. And then there's the Eagle who triggers, right? They come diving in to trigger a situation. And the Beaver could be saying, I'm glad they're on my side. And then there's the horse, Mr. Ed, and there's the Peacock on their side, along with the cheetah and the camel. And the elephant, there's a lot on their side. All right, and the moth to the flame. That's it. The bottom of the deck is the bunny rabbit who's scared. They're scared of everything in this deck. Let's see what's underneath the bunny. All right, underneath the bunny is the nightingale, so the songbird. And again, these could just represent the little ones, right, who sings and purifies the air with their sweet little voice. And the little bunny who's scared. Maybe I told you I was here. There might have been a little critter. I don't hear them anymore. As soon as I talked to you guys about it, the sound stopped. But, you know, maybe I scared them away. But there's that kind of energy, these little guys here. They might have just been scratching on the window outside as well. So we have the beaver and the eagle here. Hardworking, both of them perhaps, but with different jobs, right? And then there's Mr. Ed, the horse, which is very dynamic, and you know, it always comes up as that God energy of the Saggy, expansive energy, and kind of holding down the fort. With the peacock eyes, and this can be Sagittarius energy because the Knight of Wands have been coming up a lot. And there's the peacock eyes energy, perhaps with a little crown. And then the one who's mesmerized or paralyzed by their passions, that could be the Knight of Wands energy too, of the cheetah about to pounce. The camel who's independent and yet a little bit blue. And then there's the elephant with flame and trunk. And perhaps God blessed, because you know the elephant is oh so auspicious. And then the moth to the flame, which gets burned very easily. So they got to watch out. So I'm getting doe, a deer, a female deer, ray, a drop of golden sun. Me, my name, I call myself, far along the way to run. I'm getting so, a needle pulling thread. So the needle pulling thread again is reminding us that the galactic centers of other galaxies, it's not just a black hole, it's a two-headed needle, right? There's an in and out. It's that quantum energy of the push and pull at the same time. For some reason, they're bringing that up there. And this is like a, you know, what's the phrase? A why can't I think of it? Anyway, tugging a rope, right? That push and pull of tugging on a rope with two big groups on either end. Only there's more people on this end, but they're bigger guys on this side, right? They're more profound over here. Maybe they have more weight to them. But it's about that push and pull of the rope, or the thread through the needle of the galaxies, and the balancing of the energies. Maybe off a little bit. Because the eagles could represent our galactic friends who are always circling around the earth, you know, taking care of business for us. And then, of course, we have source energy here. And the other strange birds and lower vibrational things, like the cheetah energy could be, could represent that lower reptilian vibe as well. And then there's independents out there who are just in the dark energy and just really feeling it, like the camel and the elephant. And then the moth to the flame, who gets burned really easily because they don't think before they leap. So remember to take your time. Like, don't make any snap decisions. Like, keep your balance like the beaver. Be very moderate, stable, take your time. This is like that Knight of Pentacles energy, right? And it's like the eagle's coming up kind of like the moth over here, right? Because they're just darting right in. It's like Aries is the first one in. They don't think, they just leap. But not the beaver. So it's coming up to be more practical and moderate right now. Right? So even if someone does jump in to communicate or something like that, it's not like not to feel like you have to rush to do anything. Take your time. Make sure you feel good about everything. And then we have, let's see, we'll pull from the Shaman Dream deck here. The cards are a bit stiff and messy. Let's see what comes up here. One more shuffle. I'll try. It's a really stiff deck. It's kind of naturally bent to one way. It's kind of hard to shuffle. But let's see here. I kind of like it at the same time, though, when they're stiff like that. What is our takeaway from this read today, please? The Netcaster, 42 is the Two of Cups. Preparations come to fruition. Okay, so someone's been putting out their nets, perhaps catches something. The 42 is the Two of Cups. And this read ended on the Two of Cups right here. The mini card is the last card out right there. And I'm losing my voice, so somebody's scared to speak up. The Covenant, the Sacred Contract. Look at that. 7 is the Chariot. The feminine within the masculine, and the Chariot ascending. There you go, guys. And then we have Woodwives and adaptability afterwards. So that's just coming up about, referencing what I just said about don't leap into anything, just be practical about things. Oh, that's interesting, too. The next card is Watchers and Transpersonal. I'm getting like, our galactic family keeping an eye on us outside the Earth atmosphere. Right? And transpersonal as opposed to directly related to us. And there's the 60 of keeping the peace. Very interesting. And the next card is, I'm not going to keep pulling, but this is First Breath, Beginner's Mind. The 21, there's completion there. And then the underlying energies, the Feast of Plenty, choices and their consequences. So again, don't rush in, right? Don't do too much. The 20 of Judgment here, which is also the wake-up call, right? Right? Don't eat too much, right? Are your eyes bigger than your stomach? Choices and their consequences. And the Sky Dancers, surrender. Walking away within, right? Take your time. And be careful not to eat too much, because it'll make you grumpy. Yeah. Okay. All right, you guys. Preparations coming to fruition and sacred contract. That's all I'm saying. Okay. I invite you to drink your water, to get your rest, your joy in your nature. And it's 44 on the clock now. It was 1-2-44. Rise and be love, you guys. I'll see you soon. Have an amazing day.